1984 were subject to indeterminate sentencing. In 1981, the legislature passed the Sentencing Reform Act, which went into effect on July 1st, 1984. This SRA established determinate sentencing for felony offenders and eliminated indeterminate sentencing and parole in Washington, with some exceptions. The exceptions to determinate sentencing were where certain offenders are eligible for review after serving a certain number of years, include pre-SRA parolees. Individuals released with conditions into the community are supervised by the Department of Corrections, and such persons' release may be revoked if DOC reports any violations of conditions to the ISRB. So this bill would allow any incarcerated individual in the custody of the Department of Corrections for a felony offense committed on or after July 1st, 2027, to petition the Indeterminate Sentence Review Board, ISRB, for parole if the incarcerated individual has served at least 60% of all terms of total confinement and is not an offender who committed a crime under the age of 18 and was sentenced for a term longer than 20 years, is not sentenced to life without the possibility of release or parole, and is not serving a sentence for aggravated first-degree murder or a sentence for sex offense committed on or after September 1st, 2001. Processes related to release, arrest, detainment, suspension, and revision of parole, revocation, public assistance, sanctions, and victim notification for pre-SRA parolees are updated to include this new class of parolees. And finally, the bill establishes the Parole Implementation Work Group to provide a comprehensive and coordinated response to implement the re-implementation of parole. A fiscal note has been requested, and with that, I'll conclude my briefing.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Do any of the committee members have any questions for Ryan? Seeing none, I'll just be very brief. We had a work session on this along with tort liability, and the reason why the work sessions were together and why the bills are together, because everyone who's worked on criminal justice reform has said we need tort liability changes in order to make sure we have parole back in the state of Washington. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, or we can just go to public hearing. Okay. Let's start with Ginny Burton, who is in person, and then Jim Chambers, who will be joining us remotely. Go ahead, Ginny.
Good morning, and thank you for having me, community members. So my name is Ginny Burton. I am the founder and executive director of a program called Out Impact Coalition. I'm also a person with lived experience. I am also a consultant with the state of Tennessee's Department of Human Services. I struggled with addiction and incarceration for roughly 30 years. And I truly believed that the system was designed to support an individual such as myself to address underlying causes and learn how to navigate life successfully. During my last incarceration in 2012, I made the decision to turn everything around despite the system's shortcomings. So today I'm currently contracted with the Department of Corrections here in Washington State. I've been a contract program and staff member at OCC in Forks, Washington for the last 2 years, and I've been under contract with DOC for 3 years. I've developed a very intentional program that helps individuals address their underlying causes, and currently with the 45 plus people that we have had released, only 2 have recidivated. We serve people from across Washington State, and I just feel like it's very relevant to share that with you. I am extremely excited about this bill. Somebody sent it to me yesterday, and so while I was working in the prison, I was able to sign up for public testimony. I think it's imperative that we reinstate parole here in the state of Washington, because what we can do is we can redevelop our carceral facilities to be very intentional and encourage merit-based education inside of those institutions so that we're increasing community safety, redeveloping families, and all of those things while an individual is separated from their destructive path.
Thank you so much. Jim, please unmute and begin, and then on deck we'll have James McMahon and Anthony Powers.
Good morning, Chair Dinger and members of the committee. My name is Jim Chambers, and I'm testifying today on behalf of the Washington